Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Like it came together organically. There's an idea of how you want the song to be, and then
Right.
when you bring it to the other, like I'm the principal songwriter or the main songwriter, whatever in the band, and I bring in a song idea, and then the band helps flesh that out and make the song grow, and usually it takes it to a spot where I never thought it would go or could go in a good way. Like you're like, wow, that's the way the song sounds now. That's so great, and I think the same thing happens in the studio where the band has an idea of a song, but then when you hear it recorded, you can be a little bit more objective and
Right.
hear, well, maybe we should change this, maybe we should change that. And then when you have other people in the room, we had our friend Mac who was doing some producing, and Simon who was also there recording, obviously working on it. Little things like, we were just talking about the piano in Only Human in the chorus that kind of gives it that doo-wop sound. It's just something that you thought about before but couldn't really do. We don't have a keyboard player in the band, so when you're in the studio and you're trying that out and you're trying out different ideas,
Right.
it's always kind of exciting, really. But it can be frustrating because you're like, how are we going to fit this in? But,
No, fair enough. I mean, it wouldn't be an album if there weren't some difficulties or bumps along the way. Because I mean, it's fun, but people have to hear about the other side of it. It's not all fun and games. you know?
yeah, there's definitely, I'm sure Simon could tell you funny stories about, but just like, when I'm listening to the song and I'd email him and be like, turn this up, 2% and move that to the left, 5%, and just like, I'm sure he's thinking, just why? Why does that
Yeah.
have to happen?
Have you guys ever kind of got together with a song like, well, Morris, if someone's brought an idea to the table, and as soon as they kind of started talking about it, like, oh, right, almost instantly you're like, no, no, that's not going to work at all. Like, I don't want to be rude, but
Yeah, I think, I don't know if anything comes up for the last album, but I mean, I know that we're working on our new album now, and there's a song that I wrote called Canadian Shield that we kind of been working on for a few years on and off, and it just seems to never be working. And I think it's a good song, but maybe it just doesn't fit in the sound of Run Coyote right now. So that's kind of like I am like, hey, I have this idea, but it just doesn't fit, or we can't make it fit. And whether that's different people's, I wouldn't say somebody's fault, but for different reasons for different people, right? Because
Right.
sometimes it's like, maybe if we try the drums like this and it doesn't work, or I think it's with this, sometimes it's just the song. It's just like, well, no, that song's just not working right now. And I think that can be a challenge, and it doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while you have a song that everybody in the band's trying to work on, and you're just like, I don't really know if that's going to work. We have another new song we're working on for the album, and I was thinking, rather than kind of singing the words, maybe I would try to like almost speak them.
okay.
Not really spoken word, but maybe more like Leonard Cohen or something like that. And we were trying it in the studio, and Amanda goes, maybe if your voice was as low and cool as Leonard Cohen, it would sound better, but I don't know if we should do it like that. So you're like, oh, okay. But it's nice to try stuff.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and that's what I want to know. Just because, I mean, there are some times where you're gonna butt heads. I mean, and it doesn't mean like you're going at it like really badly. It's just like I just like a minor disagreement, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's curiosity to me because sometimes there's some interesting stories behind this. Like, well, this one time, I just got so frustrated, I had to walk out of there because I was gonna rip my hair out.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been that bad. But I can tell you on Youthons, there's a song called Stranger, which is, I think, the second or third song after Only Human. And there's a part after the bridge where everything drops out except for my voice and I think my guitar to go into the last chorus. And that was Mac and Simon's idea. They're like, oh, I think it should drop out there. It'd be really great. And I was really against that. I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. And we tried it, and it sounded great. And I think that's a really strong part of the song, and that's the way we perform it live. So I think, it can go the other way too when you're like this idea, and you're like, I don't know, but then it ends up being a highlight. So
Well, absolutely, and it's a lot of times it's those just little bits that either just kind of come out of nowhere, you forget about. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. As if this would fit perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even something simple as a riff you've been working on for years and just never sounded good to anything, and all of a sudden, boom, it fits right into place.
Yeah, we have a new song we're working on, and Jake took a guitar part that he was trying to use for another song that I kind of nixed. I said, it doesn't really fit for this song. Maybe we could use it later. And he brought it out for this other song we're working on, and it fits so perfectly. And it's the solo in the song, and I had forgotten all about it. I was like, wow, that's so great. He's like, yeah, that's that other part they're using. I'm like, oh, great. So it's interesting how you could say, that doesn't fit there, but then to, like you say, move it to something completely different.
Right on, man. Very cool. So next up, we have another song from Youth Hans, and this one is called "Cold Outside," which actually it's not right now. Surprisingly, it's about 28 degrees outside
Yeah.
for October. You know what? I'm not complaining. So
Yeah.
Here we go with Run Coyote and "Cold Outside." Dig this.
It's getting kinda cold outside. Kids are nestled in their homes to hide. And I'm up in my room, hoping for a little sunshine soon. Frost is on the glass, it's seeping in, but its love won't last. So I'll project the trees, green with light of the meadows breeze. I miss the days with the blue skies, with the colored birds who paint the trees up high. I miss your smile and your country air, and that look in your eyes that let me there. It's getting kinda cold outside. Kids are nestled in their homes to hide. And I'm up in my room, hoping for a little sunshine soon.
Cold Outside, Run Coyote, which is not right now. But this song in particular, gave me the old like kind of 50s kind of feeling, and just because of the vocals, like not just range, but even some of the lyrics, and just kind of had that kind of drifting background. It's something you'd love to listen to on vinyl.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Now, there's just a few more things I want to get to. So, you guys have been together a little bit now, and you're working on a new album already. Now, in between those periods, obviously you've done a lot of shows. Now, is touring or gigging something you guys really like doing? Is it something that you look forward to?
Yes, I'd say it's one of my favorite things about playing in a band and playing music is being able to perform for an audience and connect with the audience, connect with people in the room. It's a really cool experience to be on stage. It's probably my favorite part. But it's also neat when you're on tour, you get to visit a lot of cities that you might not otherwise go to. It's kind of like you get a little vacation all the time, or you get to go out and explore. And then you meet a lot of people. We were just in Montreal on Sunday night, and I was talking to somebody who was at the show, and she was asking me about that, and I was saying how cool it was to be able to meet people in different cities and kind of, find out a little bit about them and maybe a little bit about the city through them. So it's neat to be able to play music, and it's definitely my favorite part about being in a band is playing the music live, but then you also get the bonuses of meeting people and, visiting lots of different cities across the country.
No, you know what? Speaking of Montreal, I was born and raised in Montreal.
Oh, cool.
Just for starters. But with your live shows, do you besides the kind of the thrill of getting up on stage, do you guys find you improvise a lot, or just work on stuff that are potential songs in the work or potential studio stuff?
I think for us, we kind of get a show put together the way we like it, and we usually stick to that pretty close. There's not a lot of improvisation, maybe on some of the guitar solos, but it's pretty much the way we've planned it is the way it goes. We have been working new songs into the set,
right,
for the past few tours, and we have more new songs that we're going to play in our upcoming shows. But usually we kind of know what we're going to do to get into it. We don't really experiment too much on stage in that sense. But I will say that it's interesting when you're writing a new song and you're rehearsing it, and it definitely goes one way, and you're kind of focusing on the song. But when you're bringing that new song, even once you've decided the way it's going to go live, it changes just from a perspective of being in front of a group of people, and suddenly you can see how an audience is reacting to certain parts.
Fair enough.
And you kind of see how you're going to react to certain parts. As a performer, I kind of figuring out, like, okay, this is the part where I'm going to, move my hand like this, or I'm going to move my body like this, or something. Like, the song becomes a lot more physical, I think, in a live setting, which is, I think, really interesting, because you have the audience there, and if they're dancing or they're standing, and that's a kind of a physical thing, and on stage we're moving too, so it becomes more of a physical experience, which is kind of cool.
Right on. Well, it's a different take to it. So
yeah,
and but it works, and I completely can see that. It's nice to see people's reaction firsthand, and something that you enjoy doing, and getting a reaction that people liking it. Then hey, you even though you've done your job, but at the same time too, it doesn't matter, because you're doing it because you like playing the music, not just. I mean, you obviously you want a bit of an audience, but if one or two people don't like it, it's not the biggest deal in the world. You find some other way to reach them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we have time for one more song off of Youth Haunts, called "Wreck of a Man." So we're gonna get to that right now, and we'll be back in a few seconds here. So here's Run Coyote with "Wreck of a Man" off their album Youth Haunts. Dig this.